Hello and welcome back again, Coffee Beans. This is Soil and Water Conservation Engineering. Definition of terms. Parts W, X, and Z. Wash load. That part of the sediment load of a stream that is composed of suspended clay and silt particles. Water amendment. 1. Fertilizer, herbicide, insecticide, or other material added to water for the enhancement of crop production. 2. A chemical water treatment to reduce emitter clogging. Water application efficiency. It is the ratio between the water stored in the soil root zone during irrigation and the water delivered to the farm expressed in percent. Water audit. Program involving sending trained water auditors to participating family homes. Free of charge. To identify water conservation opportunities such as repairing leaks and installing low-flow plumbing, and to recommend changes in water use practices to reduce home water use. Water. Bound, adsorbed, hygroscopic. Moisture that is bound by adsorption forces within the cell wall. That is, the water inwood below the fiber saturation point. Water conservation. Protection and management of water resources for maximum sustained benefits. Water contamination. Impairment of water quality to a degree which reduces the usability of the water for ordinary purposes, or which creates a hazard to public health through poisoning or spread of diseases. Water conveyance efficiency. Ratio of the volume of irrigation water delivered by a distribution system to the water introduced into the system. Water cushion. Pool of water maintained to absorb the impact of water flowing from an overall structure. Water hammer. That phenomenon which occurs when the velocity of water flowing in pipelines is rapidly changed, usually by a rapid or sudden gate or valve closure, starting or stopping of a pump, or sudden release of air. Water harvesting. Any practice that enhances the runoff from a watershed or catchment area for collection and beneficial use. Water holding capacity. Amount of soil water available in plants. Watering. Volume. The addition of water to the substrate specified as to the source. The times, the amount, and the distribution method. Water leveling. A method of land grading wherein fields are divided into segments. Flooded, and the highs are scraped down. Unit. All soil is beneath the water surface. Waterline. Pipe that conveys water from supply to storage or use. Waterlogged. Saturated with water. Water management. The study, planning, monitoring and application of quantitative and qualitative control and development techniques for long-term multiple use of the diverse forms of water resources. Water pollution. Industrial and institutional wastes, and other harmful or objectionable material in sufficient quantities to result in a measurable degradation of the water quality. Water quality. A term used to describe the chemical, physical, and biological characteristics of water with respect to its suitability for a particular use. Water quality guidelines. Specific levels of water quality which, if reached, are expected to render a body of water suitable for its designated use. Water recycling refers to the reuse of water for the same application for which it was originally used. Water reuse. Using wastewater or reclaimed water from one application for another application. Water rights. Legal rights to use water supplies derived from common law, court decisions, or statutory enactment. Water table control structure. An appurtenance placed in the drainage pipes, usually in the main, which contains adjustable flow. Water table management system. A subsurface drainage system equipped with a water table control structure. Water table observation well. A vertical hole which may be protected by a perforated conduit that enables inspection of the location of the free water surface in the soil profile. Water vapor deficit. The difference between saturation water vapor pressure at ambient temperature and actual vapor pressure at ambient temperature. Water vapor density. The ratio of the mass of water vapor to a given volume of air. Also called absolute humidity. Watershed is a topographically delineated area which drains into a reference point in the stream. Watershed gradient. The average slope in a watershed measured along a path of water flow from a given point in the stream channel to the most remote point in the watershed. Water spreading. 1. Application of water to lands for the purpose of storing it as groundwater for subsequent withdrawal. 2. A specialized form of surface irrigation accomplished by diverting flood runoff from natural channels or watercourses and spreading the flow over relatively level areas. Water storage efficiency. It is the ratio of water stored in the root zone during the irrigation to the water needed in the root zone prior to irrigation. Expressed in percent. Water supply system. The collection, treatment, storage, and distribution of potable water from source to consumer. Water surcharge. Imposition of a higher rate on excessive water use. Water table. The upper surface of a saturated zone below the soil surface where the water is at atmospheric pressure. Watertight. Constructed so that moisture will not enter. Water use efficiency. It is the ratio of water beneficially used on the project, farm or field to the amount of water delivered to the farm expressed in percent. Waterway refers to any open or closed ground or surface for the passage of water. Water yield. Volume of water discharged from a watershed by both surface runoff and groundwater flow. W. Ditch. Too closely spaced. Parallel single channels having the spoil from construction placed between them. Weir. Structure across a stream to control or divert the flow. Device for measuring the flow of water. Weir head. Vertical distance from the crest of a weir to the water surface in the forebay above the weir, not including the velocity head of approach. Well. A pit, hole, or shaft sunk into the earth to tap an underground source of water. Well abandonment. The process of sealing and filling the well bore so that contamination cannot occur between aquifers or from the land surface. Well capping. Capping of abandoned artesian wells whose rusted casings spill water in a constant flow into drainage ditches. Well casing. A pipe installed within a borehole to prevent collapse of sidewall material. To receive and protect pump and pump column. And to allow water flow from the aquifer to pump intake. Well development. It is the process of removing fine formation materials or materials introduced during well construction from the well intake zone for the purpose of stabilizing and increasing the permeability of the well intake zone and the filter pack material. Well efficiency. Ratio of theoretical drawdown to measured drawdown. Theoretical drawdown is estimated from adjacent observation well data obtained during well test. Well filling. Process of placing disinfected gravel into the well bore during well abandonment. Well inlet. That part of a well which has a screen or perforated casing through which water enters. Well intake zone. The portion of the well surrounding the well inlet that is modified by the well construction and development processes. Well screen. That part of the well casing which has openings through which water enters. Well sealing. Process of placing a material with extremely low permeability into the well bore to prevent commingling of water between different aquifers and movement of water into an aquifer from the land surface. Well test. Determination of well yield versus drawdown relationship with time. Well yield. Discharge rate can be sustained from a well for some specified period of time. Wet bulb depression. The difference between the dry and wet bulb temperatures. Wet bulb thermometer is an ordinary thermometer whose bulb is enclosed in a wetted cloth sack or wick. Wet deposition. See acid rain. Wetlands. Area of wet soil that is inundated or saturated under normal circumstances and would support a prevalence of hydrophytic. Wetness index. Numerical quantity to designate the relation of precipitation or annual runoff for a given year to the long-term average. Wetted area. The average irrigated soil area in a horizontal plane located at or below the emitter. Wetted diameter. Diameter of the wetted circle created by a single sprinkler head. Wetted perimeter. Length of the wetted contact between a conveyed liquid and the open channel or closed conduit conveying it. Measured in a plane at right angles to the direction of flow. Wilting percentage. Is held with a force of 15 atmospheres. Wilting point of wilting coefficient also indicates the percentage moisture content of a soil at which a plant wilts and will not be able to recover. Wind erosion. Detachment, transportation, and deposition of soil by the action of wind. Wind velocity. A means of measuring wind velocity with an accuracy of plus or minus 3 km per hour plus or minus 2 miles per hour. W index. An index of water efficiency used as a device for evaluating residential water savings and as a management tool to motivate water saving practices. The index provides a calculated numerical value for each dwelling unit, derived from the number and kind of water saving features present, including indoor and outdoor water savers and water harvesting or recycling systems. Wild flooding. The method is suitable where the water is available in bulk. Water is allowed to cover large areas during high floods so that the area is completely saturated. Wilting point. Synonymous with a permanent wilting point. Wind break. Refers to the several rows of trees of various sizes to reduce air velocities and dust. Wind erosion. Detachment, transportation, and deposition of soil by the action of wind. Withdrawal use. The act of removing water from surface or groundwater sources in order to use it. Xeriscape landscaping. An innovative, comprehensive approach to pollution prevention and water use efficiency that incorporates all of the following: planning and design. Soil analysis. Appropriate plant selection. Practical turf areas. Efficient irrigation. Use of mulches. And appropriate maintenance. Zone embankment. Earth embankment having sections such as cores and diaphragms of varying permeability to control seepage. Zone of saturation. A subsurface zone in which all the pores are the material are filled with groundwater under pressure greater than atmospheric pressure. Hope it helps. Thank you again for listening. Please like, subscribe and comment your suggestion on topics you want to hear. Links of previous topics are stated in the description box below. See you in the next part. Bye. Rar.